All right, what's up? Let's turn you up a little bit. I have a lot of stuff to put away. Here, let me show you. Here's all my stuff I have to organize into here. Into here. But I wanted to talk about a little something, and I've made another video about it before, and my audio was just trash. But I wanted to talk a little bit about my business, and I wanted to talk about some of the other people that I watch on YouTube. And I'll just name drop them, like Great Reseller Life, great videos. And he talks a lot about how no shouldn't be part of your vocabulary. And he's right. He's right. Because he says that a lot of people cannot do what he's doing today. With all of those listings, I assume he means finding all of those items, things like that. But I have a very similar experience as him in terms of my resale business, and we have very similar ideals. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about two ways that you can basically start your resale business. Same as me, I assume. Same as him. And it kind of plays into I guess how do you say it, like a video game, I guess, or a RPG or something. Let's say that you were like playing a game like World of Warcraft, for example, right? Or Final Fantasy or something. And you want to level up your fishing skill. You wouldn't start your fishing journey only doing high-end fish in a game. You would get the low fishes, you would get a lot of the fishes, you would sell them for just barely any profit, but that barely any profit is still profit. And when it gets to be a numbers game, it works out. And when I compare my business to that, I compare it to basically like somebody saying, "Oh, I spent an hour looking for this fish, and it's gonna profit me $100, whatever." And my immediate thought to that is that in the time that it took you to find this $100 fish, I could have sold 15 fish to make $110. And it really is just a numbers game. So that brings me to my first of two ways to start your resale business. And the first is to just be a reseller. You're not a flipper. And I think that there's a big difference between the two. When you are a reseller, you're looking for things to resell at a profit point. Maybe those margins aren't like super high, or maybe it's not as much as you would like. But for like my business, a lot of the stuff that I buy comes from like recycling areas, really low end stores, things like that. And my most common sale is $1 into like $17 or $18, which isn't a lot. And some people say, that's not worth my time. I don't want to do that. And I guess that's fine, right? Like, you're definitely able to make that distinction for yourself if that's not good for your business. But I also see these same people talking about how they feel like they can't get any sales, and they have a hard time finding items, or they have things like that. And so what it really boils down to is someone like me who will buy something for real cheap in places that in a lot of cases it's either that or it's going to be like incinerated. And I buy them really cheap and I sell them cheap, right? And if I sell, like I said, 100 items in the same way that someone could sell one item, maybe our profit is the same and I had to do more work, but I still made the same amount of money. And here's the thing. When you're looking at reselling versus flipping, and I'll get into flipping in a minute, but when you look at the difference between the two, reselling is a lot more business focused. And when I say that, I mean I have a lot more hands in every pot. If someone has 10 items with the same value as me as 50 items, I feel like I'm going to come out on top because I have 50 more chances for a sale. And it's just a different mentality. It's just a different mentality. Now, let's go and talk about the second way to start your... Oh, and sorry, I didn't even finish. So basically, you buy what people say don't list crap, but you buy the crap, you sell it for a little bit of money, you make $5 to $10 to $15 per item. You save all of that money, and then you can start doing the bigger flips or the bigger, expenses, or buying bulk, or, things like that. And so, I thought this sold. That's weird. I can't get that up there right now. So it's just like a video game. You start with doing the low end tasks, and then you can build your way up. That's how businesses work. And when you look at someone starting other businesses, like what's an example? Like a detailing business, and your detailing business, you can only you can't offer polish for the wheels. People aren't telling you, well, you shouldn't be in business if you can't offer polish. There's no reason to do that. What you do is you build up your clientele before, then you bring in more and more ways to add into the business that all feeds into it. And that's a little rambly, but that, in my experience, is what reselling is all about. It is a numbers game. It is a bulk game. It is selling things at a price point that people want to buy. And the most important thing that I can't stress enough is I have a lot of things here. As you can see, I got radar remotes, GPS calculators. I got decor, miscellaneous household crafts. I got playing cards and toys. I got cords. This has been my biggest moneymaker, by the way, is power cords. I get these for pennies on the dollar, sell them for $10 to $15. I'm only making $4 or $5 each, but you sell a couple of those a day, it starts to really add up. But anyway, I digress. That's the first way, I think, to start a resale business. Some people might disagree with me and say that you're wasting money buying stuff like this that nobody really wants. But the items that you should focus on when you're doing that are items that people don't want, but they do need. Here's an example. This phone right here, this AT&T phone, this is a pretty popular house phone that, or for businesses or things like that. And so if someone were to break this and they need this model, this one right here, they're going to come to eBay and they're going to look for just this. And that's who I'm focusing on. I'm not focusing on people that want to collect toys. I'm not focusing on people that want, vintage t-shirts, although I'm probably going to add that at some point. But I focus on selling things to people that they need. And I say need because maybe they don't need that phone, but basically everything that I sell is that type of thing. So that's the first option. Now the second option is a little bit more dangerous, and it's what I did. So my experience is this option I'm about to explain is what I did my first go around, and then I moved, took a job, quit the job, whatever. And so now I'm here doing reselling the way I just described, and it's going well. I have this office. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I'm not making that much money at the moment. Well, I am, but I'm really behind on my financial situation, so it's not really relevant to how I'm doing. But anyway, so then there's the second option, which I would call the flipper. Now, the flipper looks for items that they can double up, triple up, things like that. And it's relatively quick sales, but you have more money into the product. Here's an example. Somebody who sells video game consoles. Maybe they know that they can sell a PlayStation 2 Slim for $100 with all of their stuff. So when they're out and they see it, they'll offer 40, 50 bucks because they know that they can turn around, double your money. That's how I did it originally. And when I started this business originally, I was only selling video games. I had this idea that like media was so easy to store, blah, 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 blah. But now video games are harder to find, and which is kind of funny because I just sold this today. So, yeah, sold this today. But anyway, so that's how I started my business originally, was that. And let me put here. Get it there. Get it there. And so now I do the first way, And so is there like a problem with being a flipper rather than a reseller? No, I don't think so. But when you have this current trend of a lot of people doing this and a lot of competition for your items, there is a lot of ways for it to go wrong. And now keep in mind, if you do flipping, that's fine. If you're even really successful at it, that's fine too. This isn't like a generalized statement or anything like that. But when you rely on having to find items every day like that, there is a lot of stumble points. And that's what I like to think about, like stumble points, is how many stumble points does my business have? How many options, or at what point in the lifespan of my sales can something go wrong? For me, right now, it's mostly shipping. I can make a mistake shipping. That's about it. I find my items cheap right now. If I didn't have these items, I would probably just buy cheap items in bulk, and I would, do it that way. But if the stumbling block is you going to thrift stores and you going to flea markets and garage sales, and you don't find anything, that could be a pretty big problem, right? I think so. There is something to be said about, I had to process one item for the same as you to do 5. There is something to be said about that, but like I said, it's different strokes. And I had I had a camera box. I wasn't sure, but just to neatly wrap this up, this is just a rambling video while I was doing this work, which I'm not quite done yet, but you can be, the way to start a resale business is you can be a reseller or you can be a flipper. If you want my advice, my short advice is that if you have some money left over from your job and you want to add into your income, add on top of what you're making now, flipping is probably like a better option for you because you already work full time, I imagine, or part time, or go to school or whatever, and you don't really have all of that time. That would probably be best for you. And if you're trying to make this a business, I would highly, highly recommend making your cost of goods the lowest it can be, and for things that you otherwise might have just passed up in the store, because I think that's really where the business mindset comes in. And you're not wrong to feel the way that you feel, but some ways are better to feel than the others, I guess. Anyway, this is Resell Soda. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.